receiving a continued teensy-weensy dump big time. Bitcoin's implied volatility has also breached 2023 lows, making it as well the most bone-chillingly numbing sideways dumpiness we've witnessed in years. But new evidence now suggests that this is truly the calm before the storm, the moan before the bone, the caboose before the juice. Right now, the price of Bitcoin, after an entire month of complete sideways, is finally breaking out of the most tight range we've seen in quite a long time here. And at this very second, it is to the downside. But the big question is, will Bitcoin reclaim 30K anytime soon? Or are we in store for a continued dumpulation down to backtest this absolutely key, critical, insanely important level? So if we look on Bitcoin's weekly chart, you obviously get the picture of the last, we saw 3 months kind of towards the second quarter of 2023 of just absolute dumpiness, kind of, but also sideways that eventually did break up, bust us back up to 30K. But now we're forming a similar descending kind of, but mostly sideways structure as well on Bitcoin's chart. And still ranging within that $30,000 gigantic zone of resistance that ultimately I do believe will turn into support. But at this very second, that's not what we're going to see. And if we look at Bitcoin's daily chart, right now we're coming back to this absolutely insane 50-day moving average for the first time on Bitcoin's chart since we broke above it back on June 20th. Where we've been significantly above it. We found resistance there back on May 28th and May 29th. And there was a period back in late April where we did hold that as support. When we ultimately broke below it at the very beginning of May 2023, Bitcoin plummeted from about 28,500 to 25,000, and then ultimately all the way down to 24,700 over the following weeks after that. And then, as we know, then did have a bust. But this is our very first contact with this 50-day moving average that we've had since June 19th, so over a month ago. And that was as we were busting above it. But the real last retest we had of it, or rejection, was back 2 months ago on May 29th. So this is the first time in 2 months that we've really come into contact with this as being a potential support flip, where it has been, as you can see on this chart for the past few months, it has served as a level to get rejected at. Now, flipping this as support is really good on a short-term chart like the daily chart like this is. Again, we actually breached below. We've kind of been battling it for the past couple of weeks, beginning on July 7th and 8th. We've been below that for quite a long time, the 21-day moving average. And after getting our latest rejection just yesterday on the 21-day, immediately we slurped back down to the 50-day moving average. If this doesn't hold, we could see a substantial dump to the downside. And before we continue with that Bitcoin chart, I want to highlight two things. So Will Clemente talking about the implied volatility breaching the lowest it's been the entirety of 2023, basically meaning this price action is so dull, so boring, very stable, not much has been going on, not much volatility, so it's less exciting to trade. There's less trading opportunities in general. For example, if Bitcoin is $30,000 and you want to long it or short it, and you come back a month later, you check every day, you check every week, and after a month, it's still at 30,000, there's not much opportunity. If you're day trading, that's one thing. That's, from my experience, much harder than swing trading. But if you're day trading that, or if you're just trading this over a multi-week period, it is insanely boring. We're seeing no volatility. So one, the interest is completely sucked out of the room. Who cares about watching something that is the same price for weeks and weeks at a time, right? The volatility is the lowest it's been the entire year, and even though we're at 30K right now, and I think that's just a very big thing that's kind of taking some attention away from Bitcoin. Will that lack of interest push Bitcoin, allow it to go a little bit lower to the $26,000, $27,000 level? And Stock Money Lizard is just highlighting this. We all know the halving, the 4-year cycle, with an expected all-time high towards the very beginning to middle of 2025. Stock Money Lizard's putting that target around 150 to 200,000, 150,000 to 200,000. Basically what that means is about for the next year and a half, we should be enjoying this roller coaster, according to past data, to the upside, and then topping out towards the beginning to the middle of 2025. What that means, again, from my perspective, is that 2024 is the year of maximum opportunity, but more realistically, the rest of this year and the beginning of this year so far, all of 2023, is truly the year of maximum opportunity. Whereas, when your cousin, your aunt, your grandpa start asking you, should I buy Bitcoin? That time is in 2024 is when I expect those kind of things to start happening again. It's not really going to be happening in 2023. And it sure as heck is not going to be happening while Bitcoin's volatility is the lowest that it's been the entire year. Going back even before 2023, just insanely boring and low. Grandma, grandpa, and your sissy down the street, nobody cares about Bitcoin right now, right? The people that have been in Bitcoin for the past couple of years are trying to pay attention to this, right? People that don't care about Bitcoin, there's zero shot they're going to be getting interested in Bitcoin as it's doing this, right? The people that have been here for years that are super dedicated to Bitcoin are barely interested at this point. They are interested, but they're just like, you can't watch the chart every day when it doesn't do anything. But with that being said, this is really the thing. I bring this up because this is what your attention should be on. Even though we still have time left, this is where maximum opportunity is. And so if we look at Bitcoin on the weekly chart, we have a lot of room to actually go. If we would actually retest the 200-week moving average, we have a lot of room where we could pull back, where this was some nice resistance over the past year, the 200-week, right? Back in summer of 2022, it was resistance. Here it is in March of 2023, massive resistance. And we got that break back in March. And we did have kind of a retest right here back in June. And if we got another one, a higher one, that would bring us down to like 27,000, wicking down to even 26 in a quick weekly candle, something like that. Perfectly normal, perfectly healthy, but also, let's be honest, perfectly boring. So keep that in mind. But looking at this weekly chart, the 200-week is very big. So here is also the 50-week moving average right here at about 23,000. I don't personally expect that will be a high likelihood of getting a retest there. However, it is something, if things would really get dumpy, that is a level that you would look for in a very bad case scenario. That's an area where I would feel very confident going mega long there, right? Or increasing longs right at 23. Right here around 26, 27, I think that is a very, very good short-term pullback if we get a continued dump. This area down here around 23 is, there should be much more support. Now, the only thing about that is that we would have to actually set a lower low in this structure, but that would not completely completely invalidate Bitcoin's chance of doing anything. But you would hear that narrative pop up a lot. If we went down to 23,000, you would hear the narrative of, okay, we're going back to 10K, we're going to 3K. That would come back very strongly, and people would be very, very giga bearish just like that. In fact, people are already bearish because Bitcoin's gone down, let's see, $1,000. It's gone down 3% today, and people are very bearish. So the stock market right now also is... it kind of broke this double top we were watching over the past few months. That's good. Broke it towards the beginning of July. And we're just kind of treading along, going a little sideways, kind of mixed market in traditional stocks. The DXY is, again, trying to get some life into it, where if it gets rejected again, there's a big level of resistance right here. We spent many months, many weeks, many months right here at about 101 finding support, and then we breached below it. So this could become very big resistance right here. So the DXY has had a move over the last week up to this level, and if it runs out of juice soon, that's what the technicals would, or at least that support to resistance flip would indicate with that at least. And again, just with these Bitcoin long-term charts, 30K, as you all know, is just such a giant level. This, as I've been saying week after week, is that this could take a long time to breach 30K. I ideally am going to get most excited about the Bitcoin crypto market in a couple months from now, like I said, about 6 months from now. So this is that intermediate, the intermediate period where, sure, we could go up to 40K by next month, but I'm not really expecting that. And if it doesn't happen, it really doesn't change anything. Now, let's say 6 months from now, we haven't even broken above 40K, or let's say 9 months from now, we're still below 40K, then that would be a pretty big problem. Again, we're so far away from that it's a waste of time to even speculate if it will or won't happen. But all I'm saying is we have so much time to where I don't really expect things to be insanely exciting. This is the period where the people that have been in crypto for a long time know there's really good opportunities, and it requires a lot of patience. And the new money is not going to come in really yet. That, in my opinion, is going to be saved for 2024. And that is when, like I said, grandpa, grandma down the street are going to be begging you to, like, should I buy this? Should I buy that? It's not now. This is when people get in early cycle, right here. And it's when nobody cares about it. I remember this last cycle, exact same time period, exact same psychology. And I remember it even before that, the cycle before that. It is, right, it's so boring. But that is where maximum opportunity is, okay? When everyone's excited about it, that is not maximum opportunity. And thankfully, if you're here right now, I think you're very aware. I don't think you need me to tell you. Nobody's excited right now, right? It's so boring. But like I said, that's where the most money can be made. That's where the best entries are. And take advantage of massive sign up and deposit bonuses with Femex and BitGet below. If you sign up with my link, you can also earn free XPT if you sign up with my link and trade with Femex below. Without any further ado, that's it for me.